You think you know about relationships, but you're wrong. Listen, there's no magic bullet. I'm teaching life skills.
When you're sick, you need medicine. It don't always taste good. Nah. But it'll get you better. You need this medicine. It ain't gonna always taste good, but this is what you need. Men and women, bottom line, we need to have the conversation. Your partner wants to give up control, but only if you know how to drive. This is about being the best you could ever be. Whoever you are. I don't care if you're a man, a woman, LGBTQ, space aliens. I'll save anybody. I don't care. I'll teach a hedgehog how to have a threesome.
What do you mean by that?
Look, you don't have to listen to me, but you're wrong.
Listen, I know I'm great. And I know you're thinking, Dante, there's no way I could be like you. But you could be me. You know why?
Because you know who I was? Before I was me, I was you.
Man School 202.
Better hear what I've got to say because you won't get it again.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male either. I'm just a better man. Well, put your happiness first, because if you don't, they won't.
Hey, yo. GYBB, get your balls back. WWDD, what would Dante do if Sexual Revolutions being podcast? And I'm excited. What's popping, y'all? Just trying to get some things together. Running a little late. 8 minutes. Ain't too bad. But let me check the phones real quick. Big shouts to Xavier. Thank you, bro. Sending that dough in right off the top. You are my dog. If you got a body, I got a rug to roll it up in. Appreciate your support, bro. What's going on? Happy Sunday. Live on Sunday. Let's get it in. Phone number's up. Let me check the, what do you call it? Let me check the phone lines. Just make sure we in the building. Figure that out real quick. See if we ringing it up. Sounds like it. See, yep, we in the building. Yep, we in the building. All right. Let's cut that off. So the phone lines is up. If y'all got some shit, big shouts to Xavier. Xavier sent me the $5 before the show started. You are my dog. Don't forget. Send the Cash App, y'all. Send it to the Cash App. You see it scrolling on the bottom. I can put the PayPal up if somebody needs it, but usually Cash App is the best way, so I can keep track of shit. We are also on Instagram, Man School 202, The Real Man School. Check that out. It's good to be here, good to be seen. It's funny, I just saw a video that kind of piqued my interest just before I got on. And I wish I could let me see if I could bring it up. Can't really bring it up because it's but it was a young lady talking about the fact that if a man is not masculine, right, then it forces women. And this was particularly, I think he was talking about black women, which is interesting because the internet talks about this stuff where, black women are on there telling black men that they ain't shit, and black men are saying that black women ain't shit. And the reality of it, it has a lot to do with who the fuck you are. They ain't shit to somebody who ain't shit. And even, and don't get me wrong about this, the listeners, wait, big shot, you know what? My bad. Before I get into this, Let me shout everybody that's in the comments. You know how we do. Start from the top. Many Faces, what's up? Luis de Jesus, what's up? What's up? Stevie is the man 84. He said Harry was doing something on the channel or something like that, just didn't change it. I think I took it off. Didn't I take it off? All right. Sorry. Okay, I thought I took it off. I'll figure that out. All is good. Lewis in the building. Ahmed Al Nihad. I wish I had somebody to Nihad. Nihad? Ahmed, call me up and tell me how to pronounce that shit. Ain't nobody, the phones ain't ringing yet, so call me up and tell me. I am the G. P Xavier. What up? Who else is on here? Stevie's the man again. Who else is in the building? Don't forget the Cash App, y'all. Y'all see what it is. Stop playing. Unique. Nice. That's cool. Cold Boy 757. I've never seen that up. Is this what up? Did you change your name or something? I don't remember seeing that. Jason Singh was popping. Yeah, I do love midgets. Stop playing. I love a little person, baby. It's my little guilty pleasure. It is what it is. And I mean, even that's a good thing. I am the G. Stop calling them midgets. They're little ladies. Chris Stewart in the building. What's going on? Everybody coming in. How do I sound? If I sound, check the Cash App. I'm checking it. So on the bottom. Yeah, man. Hit the Cash App if y'all please. Nah. 757. Cold Boy 757. Yeah, I got you. Was connected to. Okay. All right. I got you. So y'all be having multiple. I need to have multiple accounts in case they shut me down. Because I'm spitting out these gems. Somebody need to stop me. Anyway, phone lines up 929-269-4922. But this guy, and I guess we have that on both sides. I mean, I think specifically Black women are considered to be, it's like they're angry and aggressive. And I all of this is all stuff. And the guy was talking about, so the girl was saying, like if I'm a woman, but if I don't have any protection, then I'm forced to be, it forces me to be more masculine, right? It forces me to be more masculine because I don't have any protection. And I don't disagree with that. I think anytime you get a mother and she's a single mother, Black, white, otherwise, it forces her to lose her femininity because she doesn't have protection, because she's not allowed to. What I've found in my own experience is when you're a strong dude, $100 show up in the Cash App? No. Steve, no, it didn't. Let me check. Did you put it at $ Dante Nero? Hold on. Let me check it real quick. I should have got a notification. Let's see. How do I get to it? Y'all asking me to do some more. Gerard, whatever. What is it though? Came up in the hold on, let me see. Jay, what's up? What's going on? Can you hear me, Jay? Jay? Can you hear me, Jay? Gerard, hit me up. I can't hear you. See if it comes through. I don't know. I'm not hearing you. I hear the call. I heard the call. Call me back. I don't know what happened here. The connection was fucked up. Stevie, Steve, you sent it to the Cash App on the bottom. Let me look at it. I didn't see it. Was it from before or just today? Cash App. Theo Wells, thank you, brother, for the $5. I don't see it, man. Didn't come up. Was this before or today? Steve, call me up. Get on the phone. Let's square this away. I don't want you to just be throwing $100 out into the street. You see the number 929-269-4922. Call me up. We'll see. Let me go to the Cash App and just make sure I'm legit. I mean Theo and what you call it? Xavier just sent me something on the Cash App. I don't want to take the time to do that, but I also don't want you to be. Jason Singh just sent me $10. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Something's wrong, Steve, because I'm getting in the Cash Apps from everybody else. If you want, call me up on the phone line, baby. Phone lines are open if there are problems. Let me see what's in the comments. Today, I don't see it, bro. I don't see it. Just make sure that it went. Your phone mic doesn't work. Shit. You got headphones? Oh, dog. I don't. Well, let me check later. I didn't see it. It was that my Let me make sure. It's $ Dante Nero, all one word. You see it at the bottom. Is that where you sent it? Because I didn't get it. Unless you sent it PayPal. Did you send it PayPal? Or did you send it Zelle or something? I don't know, bro. I don't want you to lose $100. Even if I don't get it, I don't just want you to throw $100 away. So check on the Cash App, and I appreciate it anyway, whether, whatever happens. But getting back, there was this whole thing where there was a situation where people were, there's always this war of the sexes. $? Yeah, there's $, then Dante Nero. You see it on the bottom. It's scrolling on the bottom. This is it right here, going across the screen. Check and see if you send it to the right person. But there's this battle of the sexes thing. And all the women are saying, oh, man, ain't that. And women ain't that. Meantime, here's what nobody's talking about. How come we still have a population boom where they're saying there's too many people on the earth, that we might not have enough water, we don't have enough space for the people? So my point is, somebody's smashing somebody. The population has grown and continues to grow since the inception of time. It's never been a decrease of population. So somebody's effing somebody in the D. Somebody's getting the D and the P. So that's just not true. But the argument was this, that women talk about the fact that if they don't have a place or they don't feel comfortable, that they're not allowed to be feminine. And his argument was that, so I have to outman. The guy was saying this is ridiculous. Stay vigilant, because a man shouldn't have to outman a woman. And I think that's not a reasonable way to look at the situation. If a woman is alone and she doesn't have a man, now I'm not saying that there are not women that are significantly more masculine or bossy or some. I mean, you have to, again, and this goes back to the whole idea of like human beings cope. So if you're a single mother or you're a single woman and you got to do everything yourself, you learn to be self-sufficient and you learn to do whatever yourself. The same way if you get a somebody said Dr. Umar intercepted the Cash App. That's funny. But people adapt the same way that if you're a guy and you had a mom that was overprotective, then it affects your masculinity. It affects your ability to. And if you got a woman that's just, oh baby, are you okay? And you never had to do nothing for yourself, it's hard to be a man. And not only that, but I find moreover than not, men who have single parented mothers, in a lot of ways, if they don't have a masculine figure in their life, what they do is they tend to do things in a feminine way. If you don't have a man teaching you how to be a man, a woman can't teach a man how to be a man because she doesn't know. It's a funny thing. I remember having an argument with this woman, and she was like, and I was talking about the different, just how women act and their, how in general they, how they respond. And this is what's interesting about all of that is that women respond based on the surroundings. Not only that, but you find that women are exponentially more affected by the surroundings that they're in, by the man that they deal with, by the women that they hang out with. That's why women tend to have multiple groups of friends. They got a friend that they do slut shit with, and ass out shit, trash shit. They got somebody that they go to formal affairs with. They got somebody who they don't bring around their man. They got some women who they hang out and party with. They have some women that'll come to the house with the family, because women have these malleable where men tend to have. And don't get me wrong, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to do this thing where people go, I'm not talking about all women. You already know that. All is a misnomer. Nothing is all. There's always exceptions to the rule. I don't know if y'all remember when we had Eva on the show, sitting down on the couch with me and Harry, and she is definitely a pretty girl, but she's definitely got masculine energy until she has somebody who's more masculine than her. Then you'll find her she'll cross her legs on the couch and or cross her legs next to the in the driver's seat next to you and ask you, where we going? People respond to the people that they're on. A woman, and I've allowed for this. That one of the things that we say that speaks to this is that a woman is a direct reflection of the guy she's with. So if you have a woman, I used to use this joke and say, Maya Angelou wrote "So I Rise," but she wouldn't have been writing "So I Rise" if she had some abusive boyfriend that was knocking her up the head with a cookie sheet every time she didn't put enough chocolate chip cookies in the cookie sheet. I mean, we can't. I mean, what we're saying about this in terms of masculinity. I mean, if we are affected by the people that raise us. So to look at this, to look at women or men and look at them in a microcosm as if they're not affected by who raises them, the people that they're around, how they perceive manhood, how they perceive women, how they perceive this is just ridiculous. I talk about a lot of times how my son's mother is an amazing mom. I FaceTime with him today, and he was going to his second farm of the day. Because she takes him to the farm. She takes him to the aquarium. He has 5 farms that he visits and knows all the animals and, grooms the animals. Goes to the aquarium. She bakes with him. She cooks with him. She finger paints with him. He has so much attention from his mom and she's constantly, expressing how much she loved him and how special he is and how he has a confidence of 10 kids because the people who he looks to love him, standing behind him and lifting him up and saying to him, this is who you are. That affects people. I know there are people listening right now in the live who have had a parent who was a shitty parent, who treated them like shit and who didn't lift them up, or a father that told them they wasn't shit. I've done these consultations. And so when we look at people in terms of their humanity as individuals, you have to have the empathy to encompass everything. This is why when I do consultations, let me put it up. That's what we do. Oh, great. I can't move the fucking mouse. All right. Let me put it up because one-on-one consultations, y'all know what it is, DanteNero.com. When I do the consultations, I find this is something that is overall a theme. The first time I do a consultation with somebody, they're telling me the story and they're being dishonest about what the situation is. There's a certain, how should I put it? There's a certain expectation of how they think I'm going to be. They probably are fans of mine to some extent. And they don't want to represent themselves as being soft or being a pussy. So what do? I broke up with a girl, but I'm over it. Unless they're just broken, when they're broken. But even when they're broken, there are things that, there's things that we don't want to subscribe to because we think it's emasculine. And what I've always wanted to do was create a space where you don't have to feel like you have to put on these airs. It's so important. So some of the first things I have to get across to any consultation I do is that I need you to be honest about what you are, where you are, how you feel. I understand that there's fears. I understand that there's obstacles. There's things that we've gone through that make us what we are. And a lot of it is to no fault of your own. Yes, I do agree that, we do have to be accountable for the things that we do. But if you don't have a path if there's not somebody to teach you how to do it, if you have no guidance, how do you navigate something as complex as becoming the man that you want to be? If you haven't even taken the time to have the introspection to see what the shortcomings are, how are you going to get there? How could somebody expect you to get here? That's what this space is about. This space is about a place where you can ask the questions that you don't think you can ask because it makes you look soft or emasculates you or something. That's what we're here for. That's why I don't let no bullshit go on in the comments. If you act crazy in the comments, to the same thing, you sent another 100. I didn't get either. Man, I feel bad now. I didn't get either, bro. I don't know if you sent it to the same one or if it's still sent. But if you did send another $100, pull it back, and then I'll I'll put an email in the or put your email in my in the comments, and I'll copy it down, and I'll email you whatever, and I'll figure it out. We'll figure out what happened. But understand something: if you don't have a way in which you can get to those, he said those cookies did not rise. If you don't have a Sherpa to take you to the top of the mountain, then you don't get there. You just don't. I mean, I'm not gonna say you can't, but nobody becomes a black belt on their own. I don't give a fuck what you think. You gotta have instruction, And I think that's important. So the first thing I do on any consultation is you have to understand that you can trust me. I'm not going to judge you. And secondly, I'm going to give you I'm going to give you the information that you need. And if you follow what I'm telling you, things will change. It's not going to change all at once. I always say it's simple, but it ain't easy, because I'm asking you to overcome on your fears, the fears that you have that you've never dealt with. It's hard. It's hard. And then I'm in a situation, even when I'm in a consultation with somebody, we have to get past that obstacle first. Did you love her? I did, but I'm kind of, all of this cool shit. I need to know where the level of hurt is. I need to know where the damage is. I need to know what you're afraid about, because big shouts to Manhattan Beats, what's going on, many faces in the creative ambitions. It's a situation where you gotta know where you're at. I've said this, it's like an Uber, but when you order an Uber, one of the things you gotta know is what is the first thing you write? Your current location, where you want to get picked up at. Where am I at? Where can the Uber come and pick me up? Because if he doesn't know that, then there's no ride. There's no progress. The second thing you need to know is the destination. And a lot of times you will find that people in general will have an objective rewind that. They don't even have an objective. They haven't even figured out what it is they want. What does happiness look like? If I do all the things that I need to do and I get to this, what does that look like? What does my job look like? What does my relationship look like? What does my family life look like? What do my friends look like? What does my finances look like? You have to kind of understand this, because this idea of us just in a canoe floating down the river with no oars, looking up at the sunlight, it's only a matter of time till you fall. You fall off the falls. You're gonna hit the falls. There's no way that doesn't happen. It takes you. So you have to define these things, and sometimes you got to understand what are the questions you need to ask to get you there. That's where I come in, because I've asked these questions to myself. And even my own goals are either I'm on track or I'm effing up to the point where, because I'm not doing what I need to do to get what I want, because it's just not worth it to me. And if you're not doing it, it's because you don't want to do it. You got to be honest about that. And that's something that I'm guilty of as well. This is all it's variables. It's a gradation. It's a shade of gray. Nobody's perfect, and there's always room for improvement. And wherever you're at, listening to this content, doing consultations, practicing these things that that I'm telling you to practice will change your life. I promise you. Anybody that's listening to this stuff and you have actually executed certain things, big shouts. Thank you, Xavier, for the $3. Appreciate you. Thanks so much for that. It's a situation where you have to, it's a process. Nobody's perfect. There's never a finish line. I know we think that there's a finish line. You know what the finish line is? Death. It's when you can't try no more. And those goals change and things change as we prospectively get older, and it's almost like we're climbing this mountain and then there's a plateau, and as the higher we are, we can see a better perspective. So what we thought we want, sometimes we get to the point where we thought we wanted something. It ain't what we wanted, and it has to change. Even that's okay. The point is, life is it's a process, man. It's a process. And we need to understand. So when I hear this, first of all, this thing that men and women are at odds. Yeah, you always get a dumb bitch on the internet saying some dumb shit, or some simp ass dude doing some simp shit, or some dumb people doing dumb shit. I mean, that's always the case. But the reality is, we still putting the P in the D in the P. The population is still growing. So with all these problems and stuff, what we're going through, it's not stopping. There's still babies. We don't have a negative rate of population. It's constantly growing. They talk about it all the time. Conspiracy theorists that say that the government is trying to kill people off. I don't subscribe to that either, but we know that this is happening. When I perform and I'm doing stand-up comedy all over the country, everywhere I go, there's couples. Even when I go up, there's chicks that are hitting on me. Like, yo, there's flirting going on. It's all, this is, anybody to tell you that this is not happening because women don't know how to act, or because all men, it's just, yes, do we not always know the best way to handle these situations? Absolutely. That's what the show is about. That's why you got to tell your friends. That's why you got to share this stuff. You got to share the content. If there's something you're really working on and you need a Sherpa, I'm here. Hit me on the DanteNero.com. Do the consultation. It's crazy. It's gotta grow. This has to grow. But this idea that men and women are at odds, yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to get a situation, because there was a time when women had to shut the fuck up. There was a time in this country where it was legal to beat your wife. Your wife was your possession. And to be honest, maybe there's somebody out there that wanted that, man, but I'd be bored to death if I'm with somebody and she can't contribute something intellectual to the conversation. I tell this story all the time. I remember a couple of years ago, I met this chick at the comedy club, and she was like, "What's up?" Well, I was like, "What's up?" We go to the crib. Bong bong. We drive into Brooklyn. She goes, "Where do you live?" I go, "Brooklyn." White girl, little snow bunny. She goes, "Oh, you live in Brooklyn? Do you know Jay-Z?" I was like, "Look, I gotta drop you home." Because I don't know whether she was from Oklahoma or whatever the fuck. But I'm not gonna talk. There's no way I'm gonna spend time with somebody whose preoccupation is whether or not, because I live in Brooklyn, that I know Jay-Z. That's crazy. And I know that I don't have the patience even to smash and then lay up with this chick who is going to have nothing. It's going to be torture for me. So at my age, I get it. If you young, you know, whatever, you bite your bullet and you you stick it out, but I don't have that patience, dog. Because if I want to, I can get with somebody who I enjoy their company with. I'm not pressed. She's like, why are you dropping me off? I was like, yeah, we can't. Something came up. What I meant was your stupidity came up. You ain't ready, and I don't want to do this. So the thing let me get back to the video. The video was women are so masculine, and they're saying, and the woman was like, you know, sometimes when you don't feel protected or you don't feel safe, that you can't be feminine. Look, I'm gonna tell you something. You may not like it, and this is the crazy thing. If you don't have, and let me say, his point was women want to be women who are feminine want to be feminine. Look, all women want to be feminine. All women want an opportunity to be in a situation where they feel safe and taken care of. Now, don't get me wrong; some of them are broken, and some of them are broken, and some of them are toxic. But the bottom line is that the default is most women want an opportunity to be feminine and to be taken care of and be and take the reins. Depending on how much trauma she has and how much she's, afraid or has had bad situations with the trauma. Dog, you have no idea how many women. I'd like to hear what so Jason said she must have been a strong 7. Dog, I'll let a 10 slip out if it's dumb. A dumb 10? Because a dumb 10 ain't 10 for me. I get the sentiment. But we cannot be in this situation. Big shout to Biased Opinion. Thank you for the super chat. Says my ex-girlfriend unfollowed me on Instagram a year ago, but started looking at my Instagram stories. Does it mean she's interested or just some BS? This is an interesting. Let me deal with this because I got to deal with the super chats first. All right. Social media means absolutely nothing. Does it mean she's checking for you and she's interested? Absolutely. But if you don't get a call from her and you don't run into, this is because women will use Instagram as a way to absolve them. This way they can follow you and not they can follow you without any commitment. She may not even know that you're looking at her stories, right? Because I'm going to tell you, but thank you, Many Faces, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter until she's willing to commit to making a phone call or sending you a DM or reaching out, because what she's doing is she might just be down and out. She might have just, I don't know, you said your ex-girlfriend, so maybe she dated some other dude and he dogged her out, and now she's realizing, wow, Biased Opinion was a way better boyfriend than this other guy. And so now she's looking back. But you find this, dog. I get women in there, women that I knew in my 20s swing back. They swing back around, call me up, and they'll be like, hey, I saw you on TV. I saw you online. I've been watching your comment. And I'm like, oh, how you doing? And like, yo, my daughter just graduated. She's going for her master's degree. I'm an empty nester, blah, blah. And I'm like, yo, are we fucking or what? Because I know what this call is about. Why else would you call me? You trying to get me to do? You an older woman who don't have options. You remember me because I was the best thing that you had, and you trying to get the dust knocked off of it. So and when I say what up? You trying to get something? You know what they say? Oh my God, you so crazy. You haven't changed at all. Yeah, I'm still honest. I'm still not full of shit, and I know why you calling. And she was, well, I don't know that, but we could talk about it. Okay. That's why you called. You feeling this out. Because if your ex-girl had a dude she was in love with, better looking than you, better built, more money than, she wouldn't be looking at your shit. There's only reason people check for you because they didn't find something better. When they find something better, think about it yourself. Any of y'all that have a girlfriend that you broke up with and don't give a fuck about no more, you ain't checking her shit. You have moved on. And if you lay in the 5 bricks and you got 3 options, you're not worried about the one that turned you down. So even though she's on watching your stories, it don't mean shit, dog. I mean, it does. It means she's looking back. But if she's not willing to make a commitment to step, she has to innately feel as though that there's a need for me to reach out because I have a level of desperation that I need to get, or at least either desperation or the fact that she's made a decision that you are an important aspect in her life and she needs you to be there. That's the only time that I buck up and I say it means something. So social media don't mean nothing. If she sends you a DM or something, and she's at least making the attempt to close the gap. If that question, I hope that answers the question. Many Faces says, I know you disagree with this, but I hate that spinning that block stuck. Should have realized who I was when it first happened. I guess when you say spinning the block, I guess you're saying, I mean, explain that, Many Faces. Do you mean going back with an ex or something like that? I'm not sure how you mean spinning the block. Let me see. My baby mother is currently doing the same thing, checking out my stories and trying to send messages. I just straight ignore her. Now the phone calls at 1 a.m. are rolling in. Women don't know what they want. Well, yeah, their pussy does. Because it's the attraction, the need, the desire is a feeling. It's not a cognitive thing. This is how I feel at the moment. This is why if a woman says, I love you and I'll never leave you. I hope we stay together forever. Yeah. That mean, I'm not saying that she doesn't mean it in the moment. I'm just saying she may not mean it in a day or two. That could change. And I'm exaggerating. I'm being hyperbolic. It's not a day or two, but what I'm saying, all of those things have, it changes. When a woman's emotion changes, what she desires and what she wants is she changes. The parameters of things change. I mean, how many times have we seen a chick, well, I cheated on you because I wasn't happy and you didn't give me the attention? Like, the point is that there is no way to stop that other than deciding that a woman has to decide that you are the best thing that she could possibly get, and she needs not to risk that because you're so dope. And even then, sometimes they're too lack the emotional emotional maturity to understand that, because they may have been through trauma or something where something doesn't go their way, or they've learned from their household to that they don't deserve things. So when you treat them good, and they might go, well, I'm being treated too well, I need to get the first. I mean, it's insane, but I understand. I totally understand this, because the same version comes from guys. Guys love the girl that don't want to talk to them, and the chick that wants them will do anything for them. They ain't got no time for her. They treat her like garbage. Why is that? That's because you don't think that you're worthy of peace and quiet and goodness and somebody loving you. Or you're just not interested in the person, which is fine too. But you have to figure out the difference. You got to figure out the difference. Let me put the phone numbers. The phone lines up. I've been on running my mouth for almost 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and I didn't get a call yet. Hold on, sorry. Damn it. Yeah, phone line's up. Uh, Thank you, biased opinion. I appreciate you practicing ace every day, 100%. Many faces. If you want, you can send it. I'm reading the comment, at least until we get a phone call. I used to close doors when I knew I was the best. Eventually, they would come back and I'd smash, but I would never offer a relationship again. Well, I mean that you can make that choice, but understand something. If you have to give people space to learn. Now that doesn't mean you give them multiple chances, but if you like somebody, I mean, this is the thing. I'm not making the rules. I can tell you what the outcome can be, but people change. So if somebody swings back and you decide that she was an intricate part of your peace and happiness and whatever, and you want to try to build something, sometimes we all mature. We learn things, we grow, and because we change, and you would hope that other people do the same. And when they do, you give them that, you can, this is another principle that falls into that. Two things you will have to do for the rest of your life is give forgiveness and ask for forgiveness. Because we're all flawed. We make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But in the fact that we are flawed, in the fact that nobody's perfect, right? Um, we we have to give grace to people not being perfect, because we're not. We're not. So, biased opinion says, let me put this up. Phone lines are up 929-269-4922. Y'all can read this with me. It says, he says, it sucks because I miss her and it's taken a lot for me not to take the bait. Absolutely. I get that. I get that it's hard sometimes not to take the bait. I absolutely get that. But the point is, really, what are we doing? The point is, it's not whether it, and I wouldn't even think of it as bait. You got to really make a decision whether what's good for you. The decisions you make need to be good for you. You have to learn to put your happiness first. What's up, Killer? Calling. We got him calling from Bahrain. What's going on? Ahmed, how you been, bro? I'm great. I'm great. I'm great. It's good to be on. Good to know that you're listening from so far away. That's just makes me feel really dope. How's the marriage coming? So you get married in December. Go. Any red flags? Any red flags? Okay. And you still got a good relationship with her family and everything? That's a good thing. Stay diligent. What about the parents? How's your situation with the parents? Well, even when you talk to them, is there anything that you've heard that makes okay, 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 okay? So you have met them, or you haven't met them yet? Okay. So what I would say to you is, if you get a chance, go to anything that you're invited to, because you want to observe her parents, see what that relationship is, because that's where she learned to be who she is. You know, and what we're having, when I'm talking about now, is a lot of this stuff that I'm talking about now is even our mistakes, the shortcomings, the fears that we have, we get it from our parents, or the lack of guidance, or the lack of support, or and then we're questioning who we are and what we're worth, and it just sucks. But it's changing. Yeah. Now, here's my thing, and when you hear that, what does that say to you as a man who has the ability to retrospect? I mean, if you had let's step back and from the 1,000 mile view, and look at, if somebody was raising a child and they expected perfection, right? And they expected total obedience and control. What would you say, prospectively? I'm saying how you look at it, Ahmed. How you would view that from afar, from a distance. What would you think? How do you think that would affect that child? Yeah, right. And so once we recognize that this behavior is counterproductive, then we have to learn, even when we have the respect for, like, we have the respect for our parents, but we got to go, yeah, you don't know what the hell you talking about. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, right, right. Now, what does he say when you buy it anyway? No, that's good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, but it's difficult when you have so um intricately internalize so much outside forces that it affects who you are as a person, and then no matter the fact that your parents are giving you this batshit advice, right? You're like, well, I love my mother, I love my father, blah, blah. Yeah, you could do that and still not, and still say that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, you know. And the bottom line is, I say this to people all the time, and anytime there's close knit family that's where the parents are all involved in their life, and I mean they should be, because they love you, and if they want the best for you, I mean, and that's not even the case, always the case, because you get parents that are jealous, and they're dealing with their own selfishness. I mean, even when we talked about your parents, it's like your father wants to be in control, and he doesn't care whether he's right or not. He just wants to be in control. And that is a form of insecurity, because if he's not in control, see, because if you, and y'all have seen this, y'all have seen me do this on the live. If somebody has something to say, or they put something in the comment, or they call me up and they say, well, this is wrong, I will have the conversation. I've had the conversation on the air in front of everybody, because I openly want you to understand, man, I'm not perfect. I can learn something too. But once you start asking questions, if they haven't logically come to that conclusion, it all falls apart. Usually falls apart with a few questions. I mean, I'm not telling you to do this because your father's probably not going to change. But if he says you're changing stuff in the house, and he goes, you don't need to change that, and you go, why not? Why shouldn't I? And you said, well, it's not good enough because of A, B, C, or D. And then he said, it's good enough. And you go, yeah, it's not good enough. Why do you think it's good enough? He won't even have an answer for it, because he's so used to, yeah, 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 yeah. You gotta, and he wants to have he honestly wants to, it's about control more than it is about anything else. I turned it up, Rocky. I hope y'all can hear him. I hope you can hear Ahmad. But man, I'm happy, man. I'm happy that things are going well. Just stay diligent. It's always good to hear your voice, bro. And um it's always good to hear and know that you're doing good. We all rooting for you, you know? All right, brother. Okay. Um sure, sure. Okay. Which parts? You gotta speak up too, Ahmed. Talk right into the phone and speak up, okay? Okay. Mm. Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah, I don't know. I hear you fine. I'm hoping that if we're in the real quick, big shout to I am Heg. Oh, I am, what is it? I am the G. Xavier, thank you, bro. Thank you for the $1.99. I appreciate you, bro. I don't know if you can hear him now. Can you hear him now? In the chat, give me a thumbs up if you can hear him now. Say something, Ahmed. They're saying they can't hear you. No. That doesn't. Oh gosh. Okay. All right. Let me Ahmed, ask the question, and then I'll shut it down, and I'll no, nobody can hear it. All right, shut it. Ask me the question. I'll repeat it, and then we'll go off air, and I'll reiterate the call, okay? Or reiterate the question, and then I'll answer it off air, okay? How many questions you got? All right, well, okay, let me shut it down, and let me shut it down, and you call back, okay? All right, bye bye. Thank y'all, man. Thank y'all for letting me know. I appreciate it. I don't know what the hell is going on, but no, we don't want that. We want to close this. I got it. I'll cut you off. Uh, let me shut this down. Reopen it again. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Thank y'all in the chat for letting me know you couldn't hear it. New window. Okay. Bam, 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 bam. Let's see. Okay, let's see if we can get this shit popping again. Uh, Nobody can hear me. Nobody heard. Wow, that was weird. Okay. I thought I checked it, and I'm hearing it through the through my through the speakers. That's weird. Um, I, Ahmed, you can call back. Line. You know what? Let me try. Let's see if I hear it. But yeah, it is a situation where you get this behavior. We get this behavior by the way that we've been raised, and by the way it makes a difference. So, uh, let me hang up on me. Yellow, hold on, give me one sec. Hello, what's your name? Where you calling from? Okay, can you hear me? Well, let me ask real quick. You couldn't hear me? All right, let me ask you in the chat. In the chat, can y'all hear the caller? Give me a. They said no. Wait a minute. It might be a delay. It might be a delay. Anybody? Can y'all hear him in the chat? No, you can't hear him. Fuck. Let me see. Shit. I just rebooted everything. So chat two. Chat two. Let's see. They're beginning to get mad. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, I don't know. We've been good for months. You got to get the audio together. I can't. I don't look. I'm no tech guy. Ask me about women. Uh Ahmed, can you do me a favor? Write the question. Write each question in the chat, and I'll answer it from the chat. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Let me see if I set it down again, and we'll try again. Oh, there's another call. Let me see if this one was maybe because he's calling me from Bahrain. Hold on. What's your name? Where you calling from? What up, Theo? Can you hear me now? Okay. Hold on. It's all right. Hold on. Uh, Real quick. In the chat, can y'all hear the caller right now? No, not you. I mean, yeah, just talk. Talk. Count to 10. All right, he's counting. Do y'all hear him in the chat? I can hear IT technician in exchange for some consultations. Yeah, I know. I don't know. All right, Theo. Any questions? We'll just go to the We'll go to put it in the chat, and I'll do it in the chat. Okay. I don't know what's going on. I gotta fix this. Hold on. Let me just make sure everything's plugged in. Testing 1, 2. Can y'all hear me? I know y'all can hear me, right? Uh, Questions in the chat. Questions in the chat. Not sure. Can y'all hear me okay? All right, let me hey Theo, call me and see if they can hear me, all right? If you can, call me back. See if it's working now. Reset the whole thing. God damn, I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize. We were running smooth. I haven't, and all y'all getting in my ass about um the the tech. We've been good for months now. Give me a break. Hold on, I can crank it down. Warning. Let's see. Let's see. Wow. Can y'all hear me? Yeah, keep going, testing. Let me see. Anybody in the chat, let me know if y'all hear the caller. You can't hear. Uh, no, you can't hear it. All right, so we'll just go to calls in the chat. All right. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. All right. All right, we'll just go with calls in the chat. Hit all the. I know y'all busting balls. I ain't mad. Let me go back. Let me get the questions in order. Where's my IT guy? The guy, I'm doing it from home today. That's why. So, uh, you don't worry about it, Black. It's fine. I'm not sensitive. Uh, okay. Let me see where we can get the question. You can't hear the caller. I love the show, but you need to get your shit together. Thank you. Nope, the caller. I can't hear your IT. Where's the IT guy? Domino is not here today. He's not in the house. So maybe you're on the YouTube stream. I restarted. We have to. Your mic's not working now. My mic is working, right? If everybody hears my mic, right, give me a thumbs up in the chat if y'all hear my mic. Team you. Fuck y'all. Let me see. Do y'all hear me? Y'all hear me clear? Good enough. All right, cool. All right. Let's see. I had a question here. Here's by Ahmed. How masculine should you be in a long-term relationship, like in choosing restaurants or places to go out? Here's the thing about that. There's really not a hard, fast rule with any of that. I think the if you're on your shit where you like we need to go where I want to go and then I think like trying to measure where how masculine should be or I guess what you're asking even more so is how controlling should you be, right? You control the things that you want to control. If it's something you don't give a fuck about, then you don't give a fuck about. The only problem is when you feel that what I used to call it was the tingle in the nuts. When you get the tingle in your nuts, it's only a matter of time before you get kicked in the balls. When you're in a situation where you have where you are actually in a situation where you feel uncomfortable about something that somebody's saying, that is a problem. That is a definite problem. If you're in a situation and I think last week we had a guy who called. He went on the first date, and the girl was like, "Oh, I want you to take me here and buy me this." It's the first date. Like you're feeling weird about it because it's weird. It's weird for somebody to say, "I don't even know if I like you, and I'm getting it. I need you to start spending your money on me." If somebody is making those demands already, it's a clear red flag that this person is. The fact that they're even comfortable. Let me put it to you like this: if you met a stranger, would you be like, yo, buy me a drink? If it was a dude, you'd be like, no, I'm not buying you a fucking drink. I don't even know you. So what I'm saying is, it is about your level of comfort. There's no hard, fast rule about how masculine you can be. If you're putting your happiness first and you don't care where you go, what restaurant you go to, then don't just care about the things that you care about. And when you think that somebody's taking advantage of you, right, then stop them from taking advantage of you. If it's something you don't want to do, say you don't want to do it. Now, if you don't want to do something that's important to her, you can also go, hey, I don't really like doing this, but if it's important to you, I could go. But I want you to know this is not something I want to do. Like, you need to be clear about when you're doing a favor. Like, you don't want to be a yes man so that everything you say and everything that you do is yes, ma'am. Because then what she'll start to do, and it's not just her, it's just anybody. If you have friends, I don't know if y'all have any friends, cheap friends that never pay when they go out, always looking for you to pay, always looking for you to don't never chip in for gas. There's a certain way you feel about that, and when you feel like that, when you feel a certain way about it, you respond to it. I'm just saying you have to respond to it in the same way when it's a woman. Okay. Here's another question. Let me put it up. Let's see. How do you deal with women who keep saying they hate men and beat down on them? Are they like this Eva you mentioned? Well, it's funny because Eva has a man now, but she just got a strong dude that just don't let her walk all over. You have to understand that women are just like men. I mean, there's some men like let me put it to you like this. This is a funny thing. This is when I was trying to understand the whole trans issue and gender. One of the things they say about gender is a spectrum. So, but gender is a spectrum, even when you're talking about men. There is a distinct difference between Woody Allen, or I'm trying to think of who. Woody Allen I'm showing my age, but there's a distinct difference between Jonah Hill, right, and The Rock or Ice Cube. Like, they're both men, they're both heterosexual, they're both men, but there's a spectrum of how masculine these guys are. So if you understand that there's a spectrum of masculinity, that's how you know there's a spectrum of it just can't exist for men and not exist for women. There are some women that are more feminine. There are some women that are heterosexual that are more feminine, and it goes all the way down into the LGBT and the queer population. Let me see. Mercury is in retrograde. Thumbs up. I am from the streets. I have picked up this computer shit by accident. Okay. This is another one. This is going to be interesting. What do you think about saying that women call or text just to know whether or not they have you on hold? That's why they ghost as soon as you reply. Okay, again, you're asking for these. You're asking for these really, really specific situations. There's no hard, fast rule. If you text somebody and they don't text you back, what does that mean? It means they're not interested. And because they're not interested, you're in a situation where you have to deal with it from what you have. The fact that because if you were somebody like say a girl is if she's interested in somebody, she's gonna call back. If Chris Brown calls her, and texts her, she's gonna call right back if she's into Chris Brown. If she's not gonna text back. So we get our answer. There's a subtext of any action. So there's no hard fast rule. If you call and somebody doesn't call you back, there's no situation where I can make a phone call or text message and not get a response. We all know who's calling us and who's not calling. Now, there's a possibility that you could get a text message or get a phone call and miss it and not look at it. But how long does that happen? It just doesn't. If you send a text message and somebody they're not responding because they're not interested. And I hope you're not going through that with this girl and that she's not responsive, because that is a big red flag. This is the $1,000 a baby. Or I told this girl to keep thinking about. Hold on, let me get this up. I told this girl I keep thinking about making out with her. She freaked out. Next time we spoke, she said I caught her off guard with that. I tiptoed my intentions. I've been telling her she's at. I'm not sure what that means. But listen, here's the thing with this. I told this girl I keep thinking about making out with you, and she freaked out. I mean, why? You got to ask yourself, go through the checklist of reasonable, fair, and unfair. If you're talking to a girl, clearly she knows that you're interested. I'm assuming that she knows that you're interested, unless you haven't made it clear. And if you made it clear, it's got you telling her, I keep thinking about making out with you, and she's freaked out about it, right? The question is, why is she freaked out about it? Does she not see you in a romantic way? And if she doesn't, stop wasting your time. It caught her off guard. It doesn't matter. I mean, this idea of tiptoeing around your intentions is not a good thing. You got to be clear and upfront. This way, you can get an honest read on whether somebody's interested in you or not. And if they're not interested in you, you can stop wasting your time. That's the most important thing, because you have to understand this. Like, I know this is an old saying, but you miss one girl, another one comes right. They're like buses. But it is. There's millions of people, and everybody's not for you, but everybody's not for you either. There are people who are interested in who you are, and if you're putting forth a certain energy, and that person is not reciprocating, it's because she's not interested. Now, I'm not saying you got to jump out the window real quick. It takes a little time. If you're talking to her, and if you ask her out, she may not have thought of you, may not have been in her zeitgeist. But once you're in her zeitgeist, if you're talking to this girl and you've talked to her and she responds that way, then the next question should be, is that a problem? She freaked out. Freaked out why? I would ask her, freaked out why? Big shout out to Anthony Moore. Thank you for the $10 on the Cash App. Thank you, brother. Send me some money, y'all. So if you did the right thing by saying what you felt, because you got to be true to yourself. But beyond that, if she's not reciprocating and she's not, you got to pin that down and say, look, what do you want to do? Because I'm not going to. You should not waste time with people that you don't want to waste time with, if that makes sense. We put this one up. Calls, questions is coming in. God damn. Come on, move. Okay, this one. They say that not giving attention to women will make them go crazy about you. Instead, they just ghost you. Please, it depends on the person. I mean, again, you're asking for these hard, fast rules. When somebody's interested in you, then they don't ghost you. Nobody ghosts you that's interested in you. The fact that they're not interested in you is why they ghost you. Again, I hope that this is not the girl that you're getting ready to marry, because if she's not calling and she's not interested and she's ghosting you, then you need to reevaluate because she's not interested. Let's be honest. I've never met a woman who doesn't access and say what she wants when she wants it. If you date a woman and you're just, it's a situationship, and she doesn't say, this is why I say never ask a girl to be your girlfriend. until she mentions it first. Because I've never met a woman who likes you, sees you in her life, and doesn't speak up and say, well, I don't, that she may say, I'm like, I don't know, what are we, or what are we doing, or whatever, right? And there's been times where I've been in like situationships where I'm like, we doing what we doing. What do you mean, what are we doing? If I'm not ready there. I had a girl that I didn't even gonna get into it, went to my Facebook page, and every girl that I was following, she sent them messages, and I was like, yo, we had 10 dates in a year. That was like a little more than once a month. To me, that's not a relationship. So I said, I get that you like me like that. I'm just not on the same page. And I'm sorry that you misunderstood that. But the fact that you went into my, hacked into my shit and created all this chaos, it's a red flag to me that you gonna be crazy. Instead of coming to me and just talking to me. So when they say that now nobody's giving them attention and women will make you go crazy about that instead, what you have to do is be comfortable with what you do. And when somebody doesn't like it, somebody they ask you got to just ask, am I okay with this? Am I okay with this or am I not okay with this? If that makes sense. And if you are okay with it, whatever, if you're a guy who doesn't like to give a lot of attention, then don't give the attention, because all you're going to do is fool her into thinking that you're going to be something that you're not. It's just not good. Let me put this one up. So what I want to say is that there's no hard, fast rule to anything. Everything it has to be in context. And the context is who she is, who you are, what you like, what she expects. Because here's the bottom line: if she's not interested, nothing you say or do is going to change that. When somebody's really into you, whether you text them, if you don't text them back, they're going to text you. If you don't call them, they're going to call you. Now, women have an apprehension to kind of expose themselves to that kind of rejection, so they may not do it as frequently or as openly because they're shy. But when they really dig you, they're gonna find a way to get you. Let me see what else we got here. Thanks for that content, Coop. Raptor, here we go. Here's the question is, how do I deal with anger? The anger I have for my ex. I wouldn't act on it, but it does drag me down as I like to stay calm on purpose. I don't want her back, but it felt like I got slighted. You got slighted? Why? Here's my question. You think that you got slighted? Why? Did you get slighted because she's not interested? Here's what you have to understand something. You have to understand that if you're a good dude, there's a certain thing that you're looking for. There's a certain level of respect and attention that you deserve. If somebody's not giving you that, right? There's so many reasons why they're not giving it to you. Maybe they don't think you're worth it, right? Which I know that's a hard pill to swallow, but be better. But the other thing is, here's the other part of it. Maybe they're incapable of giving you what you want. That happens too. Look at it like this. Back in the days when I was powerlifting, right? I had a partner that I used to powerlift. We're no longer friends no more, but he was a little older than me, he was a little smaller. So I used to squat like warm up with 4 plates, right? He couldn't do it. I didn't get mad at him because he wasn't capable of doing it. I just understood he could, and if I wanted to find somebody that could do the same weight with me or whatever, then I have to find a new partner. Understand something. And emotionally, sometimes people are incapable of giving you what you need. A lot of us have fathers that were incapable of giving us love and attention because they just thought it wasn't. So when you're taking this personal because you feel slighted, that's your ego saying that, how dare she do this to me? first of all, there are women, I guarantee you, that maybe you didn't really like that liked you. Maybe too ugly, too fat, too whatever. And so you got to put. This is where the empathy comes. Just sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's you. I'm not saying the variable that they might not have thought that you're good enough. But also, if you're working on yourself, you know what your value is. Somebody doesn't get to tell you what your value is. You decide that, but you got to be honest about that as well. But the fact that you feel slighted about the fact that y'all broke up, you got to move on. You're wasting time on energy on somebody who doesn't think you're worth it or is incapable of even recognizing what your worth is. It's a waste of time. I hope that answers that. Let's see this one. Content, don't do it. You'll only be a liability. Okay, that's not it. Ahmed's got another one. I think this is the fifth one. Now, my girl responds immediately, almost always, and we know each other's schedules. So, okay, good. That's good to hear. I hit the word count. My bad. Okay, no problem. Let's see what else. Bruce, what's going on? Here we go. Teddy, thank you for the $5 cash app, bro. For the super chat. Thank you. Thanks again for the advice. Last stream down to you, man. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for the super chat. Did I hit Anthony Moore? Did I get big shouts to Anthony Moore? Thank you for your $10 in the cash app. Speak on the benefits of shutting up, talking less. Sometimes I find it drives people away. Nah. This is an easy way to explain this. Many faces. Speak on the benefits of shutting up and talking less. Here's the thing: you have to be able to talk to somebody to reveal who you are. So you can't just shut up and be quiet because then you don't. But what I'm saying is, here's something that's really simple. This is basic stuff that we learned in high school, in elementary school. Supply and demand. The scarcity of a product increases its value, right? So keep that in mind. So if we talk too much, right, there's an abundance of our words. And because there's an abundance of our words have less value. Meaning if you're yapping too much, there's chances are that everything that you're saying is not important. Shut up. Listen. Engage. Be present. That's what Land of Five Bricks does. That's why when you pay a compliment, and when you land the 5 bricks, you pay a compliment that's honest because you have to pause, you have to observe, and then you have to be in a situation where you give an honest compliment based on you being present and observing. So yes, when you meet somebody, you introduce somebody, you have to engage them, but it's an exchange, but it's an exchange from the perspective of you listening to them and then y'all engaging. And understand when you're at that initial conversation is recon. I mean, I hate to put it that way because the recon is you learning things about this woman. You're asking her questions so that and you're not asking questions just to be yapping. You're asking questions to see if she's worth it to you, if she's worth your time. That's why when somebody says, "Oh, you live in Brooklyn? You know Jay-Z?" Okay, I know enough. I know that this bitch is dizzy as hell, and she's not worth my time. Raptor, let me see what he says. He says, "I think you missed the context question earlier. Give me well, send it to me again, or give me better context." How do you create options? Options are easy. That's why you lay the 5 bricks. If you're laying the 5 bricks, so if you're having problems getting those options, this is what the consultation is about. This is what the path is putting you on the program so that you have options. When you have options, it's I'm sorry, that's not the one. Live consultations, DanteNero.com, click on consult. You gotta lay the 5 bricks. If you're laying understand something. If when we talk about this, if you're laying the 5 bricks, right? You're talking to 35 women a week. I know pimps that don't talk to 35 women a week. You know? Raptor, if I misunderstood the question, please resend it. So laying the 5 bricks, it teaches you how to engage, it gets you past your fears, and it teaches you how to be honest, and it creates opportunities because you're talking to women that you would never talk to. But the focus is laying the 5 bricks, but the residual effect is that it creates options. Here's the point of it. Rocky says, laying the 5 bricks is changing my life, feeling more confident every day. That's what I'm saying. People don't believe how much of a life changer it is. Content Coop, here it is. I'm 34 years old, a single dad, and my baby mama asked to stay at my home due to housing issues. I have an extra room and it could work as a roommate co-parent situation. I could use the extra help, but is it a good idea? So again, it's not a hard and fast question, but here's the question. Do you have an understanding with your baby mom that you are going to date and do what you want to do? And then if she's in this situation and y'all are co-parenting and whatever, can you be in the close vicinity of each other in that way and not where she's not cock blocking you or catching feelings and maybe if she goes out on a date, are you going to be okay with that too? I mean, it's a difficult situation because y'all are going to be and y'all have history, but only you can say if you can handle that in a mature way where it's best for both of y'all. Understand this as well, that, if you have that and you bring a woman in and you go, yo, I listen, it's my baby's mama, but nothing's going on. You're gonna have to be a real righteous dude to be able to tell somebody that and they believe it. So that's another thing. But if you're a righteous dude and that's what you say, then that's what it is. But that's a question that I can answer the question. It could be, if with close proximity and having your kid there and everything, it might be better, but you have to understand that you gotta be a stand-up dude where you set those boundaries and those boundaries are understood. And you better set those boundaries because you're not the one that has the housing issues. She does. And so you got to lay down the law and I shouldn't say lay down the law, but you got to set your boundaries and understand that, what could that entail? What happens if she has a date? You going to be okay with that? Or if, you know what I'm saying? It's just going to be her place. Or unless you're going to say, look, you can't bring no nigga up here or whatever, then that's something different. But what I'm saying is, think about what's the worst case scenario of this, and then make the decision based on that, if that makes sense. Okay. H. Dolores. What's the best place to meet valuable women? Everywhere. There are great women everywhere. Big shout out to Kevin Lava, $75 on the Cash App. Thank you. What's the most valuable place is everywhere. There are women everywhere, and no matter. And just because you're going to the church, don't mean they're good women in the church. That means nothing. It could mean something, but there's trash women. Some of the filthiest hoes I ever met went to church every day. Hung out with me, fucked me in the car, and went to church smelling like booty and Hennessy. So this idea of this place of worship is the place where good women. That's bullshit. It's just weird. No matter who it is, you have to test them. You can meet somebody nice at a bowling alley. It just all depends about what you're looking for, who they are, and it also depends on people. People respond to you the way you are. This is interesting. I was in the comedy club the other day. This young comic, good looking kid, tall, light skinned kid, good looking kid, but goofy. And the waitress comes up to me and she goes, "Will you move out the way?" And he just goofy kid, right? And he says out loud, he says, why do you treat me so bad? And I said, when you present goofy, you get goofy. I go, I've known this woman, I'm saying this in front of her, I've known this woman at least 10 years. She's never spoke to me that way. The only reason why she speaks to you that way is because it's okay. Because you've made it okay. Your response to this behavior is okay. And every time she treats you disrespectfully or dismisses you, you are confirming the fact that she's right in what her assumptions are, that you are unworthy of the respect. Okay? So when you present yourself in a certain way, in a manly, masculine way, where you are clear about your boundaries, when you are clear about what you will tolerate and you don't mind speaking up and you're honest and credible and empathetic as well, all those things, it has to have a balance, then people just don't treat you that way. Okay? So wherever you go is a possibility of meeting a woman, you know? So, Nathan says, Dante, I've been chilling with this older woman. We get into it. She gives me gives it to me how I like it, but she's a switch and wants to peg me. Shall I take it as a deal breaker? Let me tell you something. I've never been pegged, never been interested in get pegged, and I want you to understand I'm not adjusting to that. But here's something what I do know and what I found. I know women. In fact, I know 2 porn stars that peg dudes. None of them of which will date a guy seriously that they peg. Now, I'm not saying she may not be different, but what I'm saying is when you emasculate yourself in that way, you run the risk of her thinking that she can emasculate you in other things. Now, if this is not something you want to do, you just say, I don't want to do that. You know, I mean, it is as you can have what you like. If there's something that you're not, can you imagine you telling her, look, if you don't let my man and me fuck you, then it's a deal breaker, or you gotta go. Like, or even the fact that if she didn't want to have sex and you forced her, what would that be? So nobody gets to make you do what you want. You have a choice, and nobody gets to tell you that. And if you say that, yo, I'm not into it, and she has a problem with that, and she wants to break it off because of that, it's a deal breaker for her. You understand? You're asking me, you said she gives it the way I like it, but she's a switch and wants to peg me. Shall I take it as a deal breaker and end it? No, you just tell her I'm not down. And then if she don't want, if she has a problem with that, then this is more a matter of incompatibility than anything else. And I would say that to anything else. If you were dating her and she didn't want to peg you, but she wanted to call you out your name and cuss you out, you got to decide if you're okay with that. If you're not okay with that, then it is a deal breaker. You decide what the deal breaker is. Just like she gets to decide what her deal breaker is. And then you come together as adults and you decide whether or not you fit. And if you don't fit, you move on. Content Coop, thank you for the $4.99 on the super chat. I appreciate you. Shout out also to Kevin Lava. Thank you for the $5 on the Cash App. Thank you, brother. I appreciate y'all. Let me see. There'll be no niggas in my house. I get it. I mean, she is the one that has the housing problems, you know? Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Kev, thank you. Rocky, I'd rather have a random stranger. At least my son will be comfortable. Yeah, I get you. You want your son to be comfortable, but what I'm saying is this is not a. If we were doing a consultation, and don't forget this, DanteNumber.com. Click on the consult, and y'all know how to book me. But if we were having a consultation, I would ask you questions about: Are you okay? Like, I would help you understand the questions and how you would speak on this. I would say, this is what I'm okay with. This, I know that you're in a bind and I want to help you, but I want you to understand this is what the parameters. This is my house. This is what is allowed. This is not what is allowed. And if you can't comply to that, right, then you can't move in. You understand? I just think that, but you should think ahead of any situation that you could possibly, any situation where you could possibly understand that something that could be wrong, and even when it is something comes up later, you're allowed to revisit it and say that you're not uncomfortable with this. But understand, moving somebody in your house that you're not with and is not, you're not dating, y'all are gonna rub up against each other somehow. But I mean, there's gonna be a problem because you're gonna have to check her, but you got to be really clear about what those boundaries are. Super chat from Thunderclap. Thank you so much. It says, "What's the digital equivalent to laying 5 bricks?" There is no digital equivalent. You have to go out and speak to 5 women a day. There's no texting 5 women. None of that does anything for your ability to remove the fear, to understand what it is. The ultimate goal is for you to ultimately have some intimate connection with somebody. You can't do that digitally. We don't have we don't have the Oculus and where we we go into the goggles and we're fucking people in the goggles. I mean, I guess there is that, but ultimately that's not the goal. And digitally, all it is it's a prerequisite to actually talking to somebody. Even when you're on those apps, and because I know that's what you're probably thinking about. What if I'm on the apps and I'm talking to women? None of that shit matters. You got to get out and speak to people. And when you speak to people, the apps become so much easier because it's easier to text where there's no time constraint if you can talk to somebody on the fly. How do you not present goofy? Ass, many faces. Here's the thing. Y'all, we all know a motherfucker that's a cool motherfucker. It's not like we don't know what a cool motherfucker is. It's a motherfucker that's confident. It's a motherfucker that is very sure and deliberate about what they're and the ability to have the confidence to speak up when somebody's making you uncomfortable. That doesn't mean if you like comic books, you can't like comic books. I remember years ago, there was a guy by the name of Greg Stone, comic by the name of Greg Stone. And he was heavy into anime and comic books and stuff. But he actually used to take action figures. And his hobby was to build action figures. So he would take base pieces and put them together and paint them and create parts and make Captain America and the Thing and whatever like that. That's what he did. And every time he had a girl over, he would hide them. And I was like, man, why would you hide that? That is such a dope thing. And if somebody doesn't, you can't hide who you are. You know what I mean? But being confident in what you are is what makes the difference. I remember, like, I love a fur coat, man. There's nothing warmer and cozier than a fur coat, especially in the wintertime. I got a baby blue fur coat. I was wearing a baby blue fur coat, and I walked into the comedy club, and this particular comic, he was like, "Oh, look at this thing!" I didn't respond. And he was like, yo, this thing looking like a pimp. Blah, 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 blah. He was talking all this shit. Now, and he was meant it because what he really was saying is, I'm not comfortable enough in myself to wear this. So I'm gonna make you feel uncomfortable because and I just didn't respond. And I was so focused and like why would I care about what this dude thinks? This dude got jeans and a t-shirt on. I had $2,300 gaiters on and a fur coat. Like make it make sense. But the point is that people will attack you because they feel uncomfortable. The difference is I am intentful about my dress, my walk, my intention, my words, and because of that, it just doesn't give space for somebody to be disrespectful. And I'm not saying that sometimes people are still disrespectful, but when they are, I check them immediately. And I'm not worried about if they're uncomfortable because I check them. I don't care. Because you're not going to make me feel uncomfortable so that you can feel comfortable. That's just not going to happen. Nathan said she's been trying to persuade me for 6 weeks. Yeah, well, you got to make that decision. But if you make that decision, you make sure that you lay down the law about what you're comfortable with. I'm working, Malvo. I'm working on the book right now. Not nearly. Why is pegging considered emasculating when it can just be something somebody who finds penetrable? I'm not saying I'm saying women sometimes feel that I'm not judging it. Women sometimes feel as though it's emasculating. That to a certain extent, a lot of times women are not always as mature and they feel this is just like anything else. If she's not pegging you, but she's talking to you crazy, you are being emasculated. I'm not saying in the context where it can't be two people who are into that and they're respectful. The problem is, what if she does see it as emasculating? I mean, and I know two dominatrix that do this, and they've actually said to me, "Oh, I would never date a dude that I peg." Yeah, they like doing it, but they don't like they feel that it's emasculating because you are taking the feminine position of sex. I'm not judging that. I'm not saying that people can't do that, but I'm just saying if somebody perceives that as, oh, okay, I can talk to this motherfucker anyway and any way I want because during sexual intercourse, he lets me dominate him, right? It's possible. The point is that if you do like getting pegged and you're in a situation where you gonna let that happen, you better be sure that you got everything else, that the minute she presses you and tries to emasculate, you check her. Look, I don't care what we doing in the bedroom, you're gonna respect me no matter what. And if you can do that, you can do whatever you want. I'm just giving you the other side is what I've heard from women who do that, see it as emasculating. I'm not saying that's a hard, fast rule. I'm just saying that's what my experience is. Sure. Talking about, I'm sure he's talking about the apps. Yeah, but that's hilarious. Anyway. Thanks for the super chat from Juan Chava. Thank you for the $5. How does one seem less transactional in the conversation? It's just something that you have to learn. The only way you learn that is by laying the 5 bricks. Do a consultation and I'll explain it to you extensively. And even if you don't do a consultation, start laying the 5 bricks. It's just difficult to lay the 5 bricks when I haven't spoke to you to give you the parameters of how to move forward and what you're looking for and making it clear where you can ask questions and I can respond to you in a way. But laying the 5 bricks is how you learn, because you're given a compliment. The first phase of it is you're not trying to get the number. That's what makes it non-transactional. What is transactional? I'm doing something for you so I can get something back. So when you talk to an attractive woman or you give a compliment, you're doing it so you get the number so that you can talk to her, you can take her out, so then ultimately you can have sex with her or whatever, or have a relationship, whatever that is. what happens is this is a practice where you're talking to women where it is not, you're not looking for anything. If she doesn't respond, you're not even looking for a response. You're just going, I see this woman. There's something about her that I think is special. I'm going to tell her and I'm going to keep moving. And once you do that in enough times, you start to see how women respond differently. It does so many things. It removes the fear. It gets you more comfortable with you being yourself. It shows you how to be honest. There's multiple things that happen. It's a way in which I've crystallized this process to make things make you start to see. It's kind of like my version of wax on, wax off. Okay. Dante, last week I met a girl at a bar, and the conversation was more getting to know each other. Is that flirting? Sometimes I think of flirting only being about banter, and I disqualify myself. This is the point again. You're putting the cart before the horse. You need to, and I know this is going to sound like I'm pushing you, but you need to get a consultation. DanteNero.com, click on consult. You have these questions, and what you have to understand is we need to start from the foundation, and the foundation starts from laying 5 bricks. And you're not going to get past these, and all these questions are going to be, they're going to be kind of cryptic for you because you haven't learned the fundamentals. And this is for anybody that's not laying the 5 bricks or that hasn't done it or hasn't started it. You always are at a disadvantage because you don't understand the basic foundation. When you learn how to box, the first thing they teach you is how to stand, how to center your weight, how to stand, and how to move forward, back, and side to side. You cannot throw knockout punches until you learn that. All you gotta do is go on YouTube and Google fights. Nobody knows how to fight. Everybody's falling all over. They fall forward. They fall back. They run into each other. They hit the ground. They roll around. It's just because they don't understand. They haven't understand the basic fundamentals of the stance. So laying the 5 bricks is the stance that gives you access to everything else. I just started a relationship with a girl at 23, and I'm starting to fall for her. Didn't think it could happen to me. It gets better. I was in a dark place, just actively kind and love everyone. Okay, here's the thing, Isaac. Again, this is the thing. You're in a relationship, you didn't think it was happening. It's like if you're young, it's just this is something you're just not going to know how to handle. Now, I'm not saying she could be the sweetest girl in the world and not give you no problems, but every relationship has problems, and there's things that you have to prepare for and things that you can navigate around that don't become a problem simply because you know what you know or you've been taught what you know, and you'll have me in the back of your head thinking, okay, the Dante said this. I saw this, and he said this, and I'm used to this. I'm expecting this, and I know how to handle it. But if you don't learn this stuff, you're gonna fuck up. That's just what happens. You can't play ping pong if you don't practice. And if you really want to be top level ping pong player, you got to get a coach. And you got to practice every day, and you got to work on the basics. And then you get to build on your skills from that. 23 years old, it's great that you're having this thing, but more than likely this will pass. There'll be a rub, and if you're not, why you have to keep listening to the lives and keep listening to the content. And if you can put it together, you get a consultation. So we put you on the right track so that you don't make the mistakes. But we all make the mistakes, and your ability to know information is because everybody makes mistakes in this problem. I mean, look at me. My son is in another country because there was something that I overlooked. So it can happen to me. It definitely can happen to you. But what I'm saying is you have the ability to operate in a way to adapt so that things are not detrimental where it destroys you. How you didn't say that I'm not rocking with that. I didn't say that. I'm not rocking with that. I'm not sure. I guess we're talking about the pagan. Look, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not judging. How often you go to bars or whatever? I'm out in the. I don't really travel with people, and if I do travel, and that's the thing, I don't need nobody to hang out. Half the time, I can't stand people. People get on my nerves, but you got to understand that there are people and women and social situations everywhere you go, even at the supermarket, at the library, at the Starbucks, whatever. And I think when we're looking for these specific places, we overlook all these opportunities. Anywhere there's somebody around, you can meet people. You know, I don't really drink that much. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't drink, but I drive all the time, and I don't want a DUI, so I don't really go to bars. And if I do, I don't want to drink. And I'm usually doing comedy and doing it's not something that I really do. All right. Um, so Kevin, watch your back, or put in for a consultation, or just keep listening and asking questions, and I'll try to steer you the right way as much as I can. Any advice on interacting with women in clubs? I have a really soft voice, so I usually just give compliments or give them my phone so we can type our thoughts. But what about body language? Body language is a couple of great books on body language. I forget the author, but if there's one particular book it's called Body Language. It's a great book to learn that. But if your voice is soft, increase it. Project your voice from your diaphragm. It's fine if you want to text back and forth, and that works. But it's always better that you you got to understand something. I don't care what you are. I care about what you want to be. So if you don't like your soft voice, then stop making your voice loud. Speak up. It's just that simple. I'm not going to create a situation where you can be change is uncomfortable. And if something's not working, you have to change it. You don't get to go, this is how I am. I'm going to just keep being this way, because nothing is going to change. I hope that makes sense. Also, when you talk in somebody's ear, it's always good close to their ear and you're breathing in their ear. It's kind of a sexy thing. But that's next level stuff. That's master class stuff. We need to get the foundations first. If you feel as though if you personally describe your voice as soft, that's a problem. What is that? When is it a situation where some woman goes, "Oh, I love you. I love how you whisper and how your voice is soft"? Nobody. I've never heard that. Never heard that. So there's that. Yeah, I'm working on that book. I'm also working on the merch with the logo and stuff, t-shirts and sweatshirts. That should be up soon too. Been having problems trying to get that up, but that's my fault. But yeah. And a dance club. But what you want to do really, if you get a girl and she's interested, or you try to you talk to her back and forth, you dance, whatever you do, and then boom, you slide her to someplace quiet, someplace a little more intimate. But you have to bait that way. If you're talking to her actively and you're asking her questions and you're bantering, but you see, the difficult part of this is if you're not laying the 5 bricks, which is just, I love your coat, I love your dress, your hair looks nice, your makeup is impeccable, I like your shoes. If you can't do that, right, which is something really simple, just a compliment, so that you can move on. Big shout, $5 from Brian Lorenzo. Thank you for the cash app, brother. If you can't do that, you're not going to be able to have a conversation. Like, you have to understand, this is all fundamentals. It's just like I said, it's boxing. You got to know your basics, which is basically balance and stand. Spirit to my I'm not taking calls because we had a problem with the phone calls. I will have that fixed for the next time. Actually, on I will have that fixed for next Sunday, and maybe we might go live Thursday, depending on how I'm feeling. But Tuesday we'll go live Tuesday, and we'll be in the studio, so you won't have to worry about nothing. Sorry about the calls, but sorry about Ahmed. I'm sorry that we didn't. My man Xavier coming in. Thank you for the cash app again, Xavier, for another $5. I appreciate you, bro. Love you much. Damn, we've been on 2 hours. God damn. Thank y'all so much for coming in, man. We gonna shut this down. I gotta get some sleep. I'm trying to buy a new car, so I gotta get up tomorrow. I'll holler at y'all, man. Thank you so much, y'all. I love y'all to death. GYBB, get your balls back. WWDD. What would Dante do? Don't forget, y'all, if you still want to send something to the Cash App, it's on the bottom. You know what it is. It's Dante Nero, DANTE. Hold on. DANTE. Where's that? Goddamn. One-on-one consultations, y'all know what it is. And the Cash App is on the bottom. It's $ Dante Nero. And don't forget to sign up for the Patreon. The Patreon helps us support. It's a direct way to support on a monthly basis to support so I can keep doing this. And maybe I can get some new equipment so the goddamn phones ain't fucked up. So there's that. Don't forget the one-on-one consultations, DanteNero.com. Click on consult. Y'all know how to get me. I hope y'all enjoyed this, man. I'm sorry about the phones again. Yo, love y'all. DYBB, get your balls back. WWDD, what would Dante do? The sexual revolution is being podcasted. I love y'all, man. We out of here.